When I think about building a prototype, it's this connection of your infinite imagination being pulled in to a design. And you have all this theory around how this design is going to work. But it's not until you create your first physical prototype that you can hold it in your hands, you can feel it, you can use it. And that's when that theory of design marries itself with that practical physical use. And that's where the next phase of it comes in, where it gets really exciting, where you can actually test to see if your theories were right. Does it work the way you thought it? Does it feel in your hands the way you imagined it to? A lot of times that's when you start making these little discoveries where theory and design can fall short, because sometimes your hand doesn't fall in the way you thought it would. It's not as comfortable, or it's not as easy to reach or convenient, or there's things you never even thought of that once you start using this thing, it becomes so apparent you don't know how you didn't see it before. You never get to that spot until you create a physical prototype. When you start to build a tool that solves a problem that you deal with in whatever you're doing, whether it's a creative problem or it makes you more accurate with something you're doing or enables you to do something else, it's a certain level of passion where you know exactly how this thing needs to work, and the imagination and design naturally follow that. And all of the individual pieces, the nuts, the bolts, the screws, the fabricated parts, they all just start to flow from you into this design that then becomes this physical thing, that then becomes this tool that enables you to do something you couldn't do without it. On this design, when I set out to accomplish a certain shot with a video with pneumatic launchers and slow motion cameras, the only way to get the shot that I want to get, that I need to get, is building this tool. I couldn't do it by hand, couldn't pull it off. You need the accuracy of machines. And what this prototype achieves is bringing together air power with computer timing and with motors to create the 3 stages of spinning, launching, and moving out of the way. And to accomplish this, that design, the iteration, all the elements of it, all of it in theory works really well. But it's the little things, the 6 versions of the prototype that are all made and then stopped to redesign and tweak before it even gets to the part where you're constructing the whole thing. And that's the process that I really find a lot of joy in. You get to experiment with what works, remove what doesn't, improve the things that aren't to the level they should be. And the whole process is something that is exciting and relaxing. But the end tool that comes out, it's something more, because it's beyond you just being able to accomplish one thing. It can now accomplish many things, and it's beyond just you. You can share this with other people and they can use it and they can accomplish these things. And a lot of times with these unique things that you're trying to pull off with video shoots, you can't just go out and buy a tool. You need to make it. And that's where the art of design and prototyping comes in. To not be afraid to take that infinite imagination that you're holding within yourself and let it be funneled through design into a prototype, into an iteration of multiple prototypes, to a refined final product that becomes a tool that enables you to do something bigger than just yourself. When you think of filming or capturing something in super slow motion, a lot of times it's easy to fall into the place where it's exciting and cool because it's slow motion. But then once you do that, it becomes stale. And it's not as exciting after the first time. And you want to push. You want to go further and see what more you can accomplish. You want to start adding in movement. You want to start adding in more of this chaos to capture that dance in the air of another world that exists all around us, but you can only see it when you capture it with the proper tools. And you can only curate it with the proper tools. And again, the time that we live in now, with so many technological advances, with so many tools being made readily available to fabricate, to 3D print, to carve, all of these things enable all of us to unleash that unlimited imagination into pure creativity. And with this prototype, it's exactly what I'm doing. I took the imagination as far as I could, doing it by hand or with simple tools and rigs that we could just pull together. And I took all of those learnings and I sat there and I funneled that through the design. And with 3D printing and these other tools like pneumatic devices and Arduino computers for millisecond accuracy timing, they all come together to allow me to build this multi-stage pullback rig. The DC motor receives the electrical signal to spin. The electric solenoid receives the signal to open the gate and let the airflow pushing that spinning table upward, launching whatever's on it just high enough to where the next solenoid can receive its signal to open the gate for the long cylinder to pull the whole thing outside of the shot. And what we're left with is this beautiful curated chaos of this piece of ice, whatever the thing is, hurling through the air, but floating there, slowly spinning as it rises. And with motion control robot arms, the camera can swing down from above and follow that ice as it falls gently, slowly touching the surface of the drink below, creating the ripples that cause the splash to lift up and then rotate around as those splashes come down and surround the glass. And it's these things that give meaning behind the creation. It's all of the thought that goes into not just wanting to make this unique shot, but building the tools, the rigs, the lighting, the planning, bringing all the people together to capture that moment and to share that art, whether it's for entertainment or for marketing, sales, to announce a product, whatever it may be. That art still conveys that feeling and allows that human connection to be made through a shared interest in the art of creativity. One of the most truly exciting things about making films or recording videos is it allows you to explore your infinite imagination and see how well you can physically translate that into images captured by these cameras that are so advanced and have so much color depth and can capture so many more frames in a second than what our brains can even conceive of. That is such a truly amazing art to be a part of. And that is why I build these tools.